once we have a quality product, it's also about reaching out to people, creating that perception that the brand carries with itself. How did you do that? How did you create the reach out, the visibility, and that perception?
So, actually, predominantly, we started off as a retail brand. And this is in 2013-14, where the internet or commerce on the internet was just penetrating within the country. It was not too much. So we started off as predominantly a retail brand. We started in some retail stores and we made distributors. The typical, the retail model started. But as an ethos of, as a company, we always follow this thing where we say pilot everything and scale on success. So during 2013-14, very slow growth. We didn't know if it's going to fly or not fly, all of that. But we started getting repeat customers, which basically resonated our confidence in what we were trying to build back then. 14, 15 passed by. 16 onwards, we started experimenting a little bit with online marketing, a little bit with Amazon. A lot of times, when 2 years passed by, a lot of times customers used to come back and say, "Oh, I run this company. Can you customize this notebook for me? Because I anyways use it." So around 15, 16, what we were doing was we were doing three things. We were doing a little bit of scratching the surface with our online platform. We were on some of the marketplaces trying to experiment what works, what doesn't work. And we were customizing for a couple of, people who ran their own companies, and they said, "We are users, so we'll do this." So three things we were, piloting with, apart from launching newer products and, maybe exploring new categories and stuff like that. So this was between 2013, 15, 16. 17, 18 onwards, we really pushed this a little bit. We said, okay, Amazon, we see a lot of scope. Online, we see a lot of scope. So let's try and push this. Around 19, COVID happened. And then we were fortunate actually enough to, since we were there at the right place at the right time where we had some online presence going on, we had to just power shoot it completely. We put that on steroids, and that completely, like, we grew at a rate of about 3x year or 2x year on year, 2 to 2.5x year on year. We were growing in every segment. So in terms of the segments, retail was obviously our bread and butter that was, coming through. Online substantially picked both Amazon and, all of that. And of course, our D2C presence, direct to consumer through our website, picked up substantially and we scaled up exponentially, during COVID times, which was very, very surprising for us as well. When this happened, a lot of product went into circulation. So if we were doing a couple of thousand notebooks, we were now doing we were serving about 1 million customers a year. And when 1 million customers were using your products, it was in circulation, a lot of people started seeing it. So our corporate business, the customization business, picked up automatically. So these are the 4 segments that we currently operate in. Our endeavor is to kind of slowly, just grow that substantially, month on month, year on year.
All right. So I'll go back in time. You said you started with retail.
Yeah.
Would you remember how did you get the first retail distribution? I'm assuming you started with distribution in bookstores like Home Bookshop and Crossword and all.
Right.
How did you begin with this?
So interestingly, I joined the business about 2.5, 3 years back. It was started by my father as largely a hobby to, create this as a brand that provides the best notebooks out there, and to resonate. Basically, he had this vision where he said that, okay, I'll make the best notebooks available in India, and I will make sure that people buy it as well. Right. So we were running a printing press back in the day, and then that's how we digressed into this. The first retail store actually joined up by cold walking inside the store and saying, "This is the brand. I think it is the best available in the market." And out of 10 stores that he walked in, they said sorry, and there's one store in Gurgaon that actually kept it.
Mhm.
And from there it started, and that continues to keep our products, is our highest performing store as well today. And once it kept it, people started using it, people started coming back and then going to other stores. So, there are multiple stores in a catchment area, where if one person shopped at an X stationery store, he goes to a mall, say tomorrow, and says, do you have paperclip products? That's where organically it started growing. So the customers actually generated or created demand with other stationery stores. Some of them actually Googled us, reached out to us, and that's how it expanded. When we were at a situation of about 4 to 5 stores, that's when distributors started coming in. Today we have, if my number is correct, about 7 distributors covering about 18 states across the country. Um, and they have been there since the beginning. There's no distributor that's left us ever. So, that's a proud moment for us. And that's how the stores kind of spiraled up. It was consumer generated demand, and then, distributors came in because the brand was doing decently okay.
So is the business predominantly B2B or B2C?
So both, as I said, we operate in 4 segments. The retail segment, we operate in a direct tie-up with stores, like for example, Crosswords, home bookshops of the world, we work with them directly. Then there are distributors which support smaller stores. So that's B2B, and I mean for our this thing is retail stores as well. D2C, direct to consumer, we are on our own website. Then we are on Amazon. Again, we follow a distributor model. And then with companies that we've probably done about 1,000 projects over the last couple of years. We worked with 1,000 companies to customize their this thing. So that comes usually directly to us, that business by the company itself, or there are corporate gifting guys, corporate distributors that take the product and customize it for their use and for their clients' usage. So it's both.
All right. So since you have so many corporate tie-ups, you're working with so many of them. Any insights that you would like to share on how you leverage your brand there, or any pricing negotiation insights that you could share, only if you could share,
Sure.
or
So,
how to draw contracts there? Yeah.
so couple of things. I think we are a very generic product overall, right? We're doing notebooks and this thing. In terms of corporate customizations of corporate clients that we work with, they're divided into 3 buckets. Bucket number one is people who come to us and say, "We really like your notebook. Why don't you put our logo on it and give the same model that is there?" So imagine this to be like a McDonald's burger with someone else's logo along with the McDonald's logo on it. So that's a stock product running in the supply chain with, say if EY or Bain comes through and says that, okay, I want to give this to my employees, please put in my logo on your standard model. So that's number one. Number two is when companies come to us and say, no, we want a deeper integration in terms of, we just don't want a logo, we want it to be designed specifically, right? So that's where our design team comes in and says, okay, this is the kind of brief that we've received. This is the kind of notebook that we can create jointly with you. Mind you, in the first model and the second model, our logo goes on every notebook that's dispatched out to us. So it's a collaborative approach. We do not undertake kind of white labeling, so to say. The third element is actually white labeling. And that third element is we are very, very, very selective in terms of who we white label for. So just to name 3 brands that we currently white label for are Royal Enfield, Napa Dori, and Indus People. Indus People happens to be my wife's company, so I can't say no. And the other two are fairly known, right? So with Royal Enfield and Napa Dori, these guys sell the notebooks further. And these are big brands that we wanted to be a part of and collaborate with. So that's where this kind of integration came in. So these are the three models. How we reach out to all of them is, for the first two models, we have zero people on our sales team. So physically zero people on our sales team. It's all inbound. Or we do outbound marketing, which is only on Facebook and Google. So if you're looking for it, if there is intent from your side to buy a notebook, then you'll see an ad from my side on Google. And if I want to create an impulse, then I will show you an ad on Facebook or Instagram that might lead you to reach out to me. So these are the two or three models, and this is how we kind of reach out. We're a very extremely lean team, so we don't spend too much on marketing and all of that.
And once you